That's how come I had to carry my chair to the middle of the floor, too. I sat down and smiled very sweetly. Right, William? I'm right, aren't I? I said. Only too bad for me, 'cause just then I felt hands on my shoulder. I looked up. It was Mrs. I did a gulp. Hello. How are you today? I said, kind of nervous. Mrs. zoomed my chair back to the table. It was not fun. I quick picked up my pencil. Guess what? I'm going to do my work now, I said. Plus, also, I am not even going to talk, 'cause I don't actually like anyone in this area. Mrs. tapped her foot at me. Love your shoes, I said real soft. Her foot kept tapping. Only just then, a very great thing happened, and it's called the bell rang for the end of school. I hurried out the door. Then me and my other bestest friend named Grace runned to the bus together. Grace, guess what? There's no such things as monsters, and so I don't even have one under my bed, probably. Right, Grace, right? That Grace didn't say right. That's how come I grabbed her by the shoulders, and I jiggled and jiggled her. 'Cause I was fed up with these people, that's why. How come you won't say right, Grace? How come nobody will say right? 'Cause I'm getting at the end of my rope with this thing. That Grace took my hands off of her. I can't say right, because a monster really might live under your bed, Junie B, she said. My eyes got big and wide at her. No, Grace, no, don't say that. Do not say a monster might live under my bed, 'cause that cannot even be true, or else I would have spotted that guy by now. No, you wouldn't, she said. My big sister said that monsters can turn themselves invisible when you look at them. And so that's how come nobody ever sees them. That Grace looked serious at me. That makes sense, don't you think? Huh, Junie B? Right? Just then my throat got dry and my stomach got the shakies. I looked out the window very upset, and I didn't say right. Chapter 3, The Invisiblest Guy. I ran in my house and I hollered for my Grandma Helen Miller. Grandma Miller! Grandma Helen Miller! I am so glad to be home, 'cause today was not very good day at my school. Grandma Miller was in the kitchen. She was holding my baby brother named Ollie. I jumped up and down in front of her. Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up! I can't now, Toots, she said. I've got my hands full with Ollie. Yeah, only put him on the floor, I said, 'cause I need a hug down here, Helen. Grandma Miller leaned down and hugged me. She said, don't call her Helen. Why don't you go change your clothes? She said, then you and I will make some popcorn. And you can tell me all about your day. How does that sound? Just then my whole face got happy, 'cause popcorn is my most favorite thing in the whole wide world. Hooray! I shouted, hooray for popcorn! I ran to my room. Then I took off my shoes and socks, and my feet did a happy dance on the floor. It was called the Happy Feet Popcorn Dance. They danced around and around. Also, they jumped on my bed, and they sprang to the floor, and they did a giant twirly on my rug. I clapped my hands real joyful. Grandma, hey Grandma, guess what? I am having a good time in here, and so I am not even thinking about the monster under my bed. Just then I did a gulp, because I should not have said that, I think. I looked at my bed, kind of nervous. What if the monster was under there right this very minute? And what if he was looking at my piggy toes? And what if he wanted to eat them? Oh no, I said. Oh no, oh no. 'Cause piggy toes look just like little wiener sausages, I think. I freezed right where I was standing. Grandma Grandma Miller! Grandma Miller! Come quick, I need you! I shouted. Grandma Miller fled to my room. Then she picked me up and hugged me real tight. What on earth is the trouble? She asked. She sat down with me on my bed. No, Grandma, no, we can't sit here. I squeezed out of her arms and ran to the door. There's a monster under my bed, I yelled. I jumped up and down. Run, Helen! Run like the wind! Only Grandma Helen Miller didn't run. She just flopped back on my covers. She closed her eyes. No, Junie B., please. We're not going through this monster business again, are we? We've talked about monsters before, remember? We decided that there are no such things as monsters. Yes, but I have new information, I said, because the monster under my bed turns himself invisible when we look at him. Plus, at night, after my eyes are closed, he climbs next to me and puts my head in his mouth. Grandma Miller did a big breath. Then she went to the kitchen and she brought back my daddy's flashlight. She shined it under my bed. No monster, Junie B. None. I don't see a single monster under this bed. She said, see? I said, that proves it, Grandma. He turned himself invisible. Grandma Miller shook her head. No, Junie B., the monster did not turn himself invisible. The monster is simply not there. He does not exist. Period. Yes, he does, Grandma. He does too exist, because Polly Allen Puffer's big brother even said so. Plus, also, I've even seen the drool. Grandma Miller said to calm down my voice. She got me a drink of water. Why don't we forget about the monster for now and we'll go make popcorn. You can talk to your mother about this when she gets home. I bet Mother will know exactly what to do. I thought and thought. What, Grandma? What will she do? I asked. Then all of a sudden a light bulb went on in my head. Hey, I know what she'll do. Mother will get the broom and bash the monster's head in. 'Cause I saw her do that with a roach before. And she is excellent at it. Grandma closed her eyes again. She said, I am a strange one. Chapter 4. Spooky Scary. Pretty soon Mother came home from work. I zoomed to her speedy quick and handed her the broom. Mother, come on, let's go get that monster, I hollered. Mother turned her head real slow and looked at Grandma Miller. Grandma sucked in her cheeks. A monster? She said kind of quiet. Under the bed. We've been waiting for you to come home so you can bash its head in. I tugged on her sweater. Plus tell her about the drool, Grandma, I said. But Grandma Miller headed to the door and she said the words, I'm out of here. I pulled on Mother's arm. Come on, Mother. The monster's really real. 'Cause Polly Allen Puffer told me everybody has a monster under their bed. Plus, that Grace said it can turn invisible. And so that's how come we never saw that guy before. Mother sat down at the kitchen table and she lifted me onto her lap. Then she said that Polly Allen Puffer was just trying to scare me. Plus that Grace didn't know what she was talking about. There is no monster under your bed. Junie B., I promise you, monsters are not real. She said, yes, they are. They are too real. 'Cause Polly Allen Puffer's big brother even said so. And he's in 7th grade. And he said monsters crawl on your bed and they fit your head into their mouth. And so that is where the drool comes from. 'Cause I am not even a baby. Just then I heard the front door open. It was my daddy. He was home from work too. Daddy, there's a monster under my bed. Only you said monsters aren't real, but they really, really are. I pulled on his arm. Come on, Daddy, let's get him. Daddy looked at Mother a real long time. then went into the hall and did whispering. Pretty soon Daddy came back to me. He said we would look for the monster after dinner, but first we could cook some hamburgers on the grill. Oh boy, I said. Oh boy, 'cause hamburgers are my most favorite things in the whole wide world. Plus also I like pescetti and meatballs. After that, me and Daddy went outside. He got a flipper for the hamburgers. He gave me a flipper too, 'cause I am old enough, that's why. I run all over with that thing. I flipped a rock and a flower and a dirt ball. Also, I flipped a dead lizard I found in the driveway. Then Mother took my flipper away. Because I am not old enough, that's why. After dinner, I took my bath. Then Mother and Daddy read me a story, and they hugged me goodnight. See you in the morning, said Mother. See you in the morning, said Daddy. I sat up in my bed. Yeah, only I can't even sleep in here because you guys didn't bash the monster's head in yet. Daddy rubbed his eyes. His tired eyes. There's no monster, Junie B. There's nothing to be afraid of, he said. Then he kissed me, and he went out of my room, and Mother went with him. I quick got out of bed and followed those two. They turned around and spotted me. Hello, how are you today? I said, very pleasant. I am going to sit in the kitchen and not bother anyone. Plus also I might watch Eyewitness News at 10. Mother carried me back to bed. I followed her out again. Want to bake a lemon pie? A lemon pie would be fun, don't you think? I asked. This time, Mother marched me back to my room real fast. Do not get up again, Junie B, she said. Enough is enough. I waited for her feet to walk away. Then I tiptoed to my baby brother's Ollie's room, and I climbed into his crib. It was very crowded in there. That's how come I had to get out and put Ollie on the floor. Then I climbed into his crib again, and I pulled the blankets all warm and cozy. Only too bad for me, 'cause just then that crybaby started to scream. Daddy runned into the room speedy quick. He turned on the light and saw me. I did a gulp. Hello, how are you today? I said, kind of nervous. I am all warm and cozy. Dad quick swished me out of there. Then he put baby Ollie back in the crib, and he took me to bed again. Okay, this is it, he grouched. This is the last time I want to have to come in here. Do you understand, Missy? I do not get out of this bed one more time. I started to cry a teeny bit. Yeah, only what about the monster? I said, 'cause he is still under my bed, I think. Daddy throwed his hands in the air. Then he turned on the light and he looked for the monster all over the place. First he looked under my bed, then he looked in my closet, and in my drawers, and in my trash can. Plus also he looked in my crayon box. No monster, Junie B, he said. No monsters anywhere. You're going to have to believe me. Monsters are not real. He sat down on my bed. I'm going to go now, he said. I'm going to leave your door open, and I'm going to leave the hall light on. But this is it, okay? You have to trust me, Junie B. There is no monster. I holded onto his shirt. Yeah, only tuck my sheets in, okay? Tuck them in real tight, or else my feet might hang over the side, and Piggy toes just look like little wiener sausages. Daddy tucked in my sheets. There. Now good night. Yeah, only get my teddy, okay, Daddy? Plus also my Raggedy Ann named Ruth, and my Raggedy Andy named Larry. And also get my stuffed elephant named Philip Johnny Bob. Daddy got all of those guys for me. He tucked them in my bed. There, that's it. Now, good night, he said. He walked right out of my room, and he kept going down the hall. I looked all around in the dark. It was very spooky and scary. "Philip Johnny Bob wants a drink of water!" I shouted out real loud. I waited and waited. Yeah, only he really needs one on account of is having a problem with his trunk. Daddy didn't come. Raggedy Ruth needs a Kleenex! I yelled next. After that, my voice got quieter. Raggedy Larry wants a cookie, I said, but still Daddy didn't come. My worstest night ever. It was the worstest night ever. I didn't sleep any winks. That's because I had to keep my eyes open or else the monster wouldn't stay invisible. I heard Mother and Daddy go to bed. "Good night, everybody! Good night! It's me! It's Judy B. Jones! I am still awake in here, 'cause I can't even close my eyes, or the monster will come!" Mother and Daddy didn't yell back. "Plus, here's another thing I need to tell you. Don't turn out the hall light. Plus, don't shut my door. Plus, don't shut your door either." "Go to sleep!" Grouched Mother. I smiled, very relieved. "It was good to hear your voice," I said, kind of quiet. After that, Mother and Daddy got in bed, and they turned out their light. Daddy started to snore. "Oh no," I said. "Now he won't even be awake to save me if the monster comes." I pulled Philip Johnny Bob out of my covers. "I will save you," he said. "I will squirt water in the monster's face. Plus, I will stumble him with my giant feet. And so now you can close your eyes and you don't have to worry about that guy." I looked at him. "Yeah, only here's the problem," I said. "You're not actually strong, 'cause you just have Fluffy in you. Plus, also, you can't really squirt water. And so, who am I kidding here?" Philip Johnny Bob stared at me a real long time. Then he went back under the covers. All of a sudden, I heard feet in the hall. It was monster feet, I think. They kept getting closer and closer to me. Then pretty soon, they ran right into my room. And guess what? It was my dog Tickle. That's what. "Tickle, Tickle, I am so glad to see you, 'cause now you can protect me from the monster." And so, why didn't I think of this before? I pulled back my covers and I patted for him to jump up. "Here, Tickle, you can sleep right on my pillow, 'cause Mother won't even find out about this." Tickle springed right up there. He runned all around my bed. He put his head under my sheets and runned down to my feet. "No, Tickle, no, you have to come back up here, or else how will you even protect me?" I pulled him back up. He put his paws on Raggedy Larry and chewed his hair. "No, Tickle, no, I said. Just then Tickle springed over me, and he landed on my elephant named Philip Johnny Bob. He was holding him by his trunk and shaking that guy all around. I saved Philip Johnny Bob just in time. Then I pushed Tickle off my bed, and he ran out of my room. Philip Johnny Bob was very upset. I patted his trunk. Also, I hugged Raggedy Larry. Only too bad for me, 'cause just then Raggedy Ruth fell right out of my bed on account of the dumb sheets weren't tucked in anymore. Me and Raggedy Larry peered over the side at her. "Get her!" said Raggedy Larry. "Yeah, only I can't get her," I said, real upset, "or else the monster will grab my hand and pull me right under the bed." I thought about what to do. Then all of a sudden, I picked up all my friends in my arms. "We have to make a run for it," I told them. "We have to sleep with Mother and Daddy tonight, 'cause we'll be safe with them. Plus, they won't even know we're there, probably, 'cause their bed is the size of a king." I stood on the side of my bed. Then I jumped way out into the middle of my floor, and I quick picked up Raggedy Ruth, and I ran to Mother and Daddy's room. They were sleeping and snoring, said Raggedy Larry. said Philip Johnny Bob. Then all of us crawled down in the middle of their bed, and we sneaked under the covers. Only too bad for me, 'cause Mother rolled right over on Philip Johnny Bob's trunk, and it waked her up. She turned on the light. I did a gulp. Hello. How are you today? Me and my friends are sleeping here, 'cause we didn't think you'd mind, probably. Mother carried me back to my room zippity quick. Then she leaned close to my ear, and she talked very scary with her teeth closed. Do not get out of bed one more time, she said. And guess what? I didn't. Chapter 6. Flatsos. The next day at school, I was pooped and tired. I opened one eye with my fingers, and I drawed a picture for art. It did not turn out that professional. After that, I holded up my head with my hands, and I waited for school to be over. Me and that Grace rode home on the bus together. I yawned and yawned. Darn it, Grace, I wish you never even told me that monsters can turn invisible, 'cause now I can't even close my eyes at night. I can, said that Grace. That's because I don't have a monster under my bed anymore. My mom figured out how to get rid of it. My eyes got big and wide. How, Grace? How did she do that? Easy, said that Grace. First, she sucked it up with our vacuum cleaner. Then she put the vacuum cleaner bag in the trash compactor, and she squished that monster into a flatso. Just then I hugged and hugged that girl, 'cause that was brilliant, of course. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. 'Cause I have a vacuum cleaner right in my very own home. And so I can do that too, probably. After I got off the bus, I zoomed to my house speedy fast. Grandma Miller, I know how to get rid of the monster, I hollered. Then I runned to the closet and got Mother's vacuum cleaner, and I pulled that big guy all the way to my room. Grandma Miller came to my door. I told her all about how to get rid of the monster, and guess what? She was a good sport about it. First, she plugged in the vacuum cleaner right into the wall. Then she put it under the bed, and she sucked the monster right in there. Hooray, you got him! You got the monster, Grandma! I yelled, real thrilled. Grandma Miller runned with the bag to the kitchen, and she throwed it in the trash can. There, that ought to do the trick, she said, very happy. I looked and looked at the trash. I did a teeny frown. Yeah, only here's the problem. You didn't actually put the bag in the trash compactor, and that is what turns the monster into a flatso. Grandma Miller smiled. Yes, but this house doesn't have a trash compactor, Junie B, she said. Your monster will just have to stay in the vacuum cleaner bag. My frown got bigger. Yeah, but what if he leaks out, Grandma? Then maybe he might float in the air all the way back to my room, and he will get under my bed again. Grandma Miller tapped on the counter with her fingers. Then her cheeks filled up with air, and she let it out real slow. Okay, how about this? What if I take it outside? I'll take the bag outside, and I'll push it way down in the big garbage can, and I'll press down the lid really tight so he can't get out. Yeah, but he still won't be a flatso, I said, very whiny. Just then Grandma Miller got frustration in her. She grabbed the vacuum cleaner bag and ran outside. And she put it on the driveway. And she got in her car and she backed up over that thing with her tires. Pretty soon she came back inside the house. She brushed her hands together. There! Now he's a fatso, she said kind of growly. After she left, I got on the couch and I stared very nervously at the driveway. 'Cause guess why? A car is not a trash compactor, that's why. Snarlies and snifflies. That night I heard snarlies under my bed. Mother said it was my imagination. No, it's not my imagination. I said, I can hear snarlies. Plus also I hear snories and snufflies and droolies. Mother rolled her eyes way up the ceiling. Honestly, Junie B, where in the world do you get this stuff? She asked. I thought and thought. It just automatically comes in my head. I said, it is a gift, I think. After that, I begged to sleep in her bed, but Mother said no. Then Daddy said no too. You have to trust us. You have to trust us, Junie B, he said. We would never let anything hurt you. There's nothing in your room to be afraid of. And so that's how come I had to sleep in my own bed for the whole entire night. Plus also I had to sleep there the next night, and the next night, and the next night after that too. That was the night when the worst thing of all happened, because I accidentally slept too much and the monster must have crawled on my bed, because in the morning there was drool on my pillow. I screamed very loud when I felt it. Help! Help! There's drool! There's drool! I told you this would happen! I told you the monster would come! I ran in Mother and Daddy's room and showed them my pillow. Mother holded her head. When is this ever going to end? She said. When are you ever going to realize that there are no such things as monsters? She did not wait for me to answer. Everyone drools on their pillow sometimes, she said. It doesn't mean you're a baby. Your mouth just opens when you're sleeping. And you drool a little bit. It's no big deal. And it is not from monsters. After that, she went out of the room to the kitchen. And Daddy went to get Ollie. I crawled into her bed and counted my piggy toes. Good news. There was 10. That day at kindergarten, Mrs. had a surprise for us. It was called Our School Pictures Were Back from the Cheese Man. She passed them out for us. Lucille got hers. My eyes popped out at those things. Lucille, look how gorgeous you are. They are the most gorgeousest pictures I ever saw, I said. Lucille fluffed her fluffy dress. I know it. I know they are gorgeous. That's just how I look, Junie B. I can't even help it. After that, Lucille stood up at the table. And she held her pictures for everyone to see. Mrs. said, sit down, to her. Just then, Mrs. bent down next to me and she smoothed my hair. Junie B, honey, you might want to have your pictures taken again, she said kind of quiet. Then she handed me my envelope, real secret. Nobody could see. I sneaked a peek at those things. My stomach felt sickish. I looked like I smelled a stink. I said. I quick tried to hide my pictures, but Lucille grabbed them away from me. Ew! Gross! She said, Junie B looks gross. I tried to grab them back. Yeah, only these are not even your beeswax, madam. I yelled very mad. Only too bad for me, because lots of other kids already saw them. And they laughed and laughed at those things. Finally, I grabbed the pictures back and I hid them in my coat. I didn't talk to room 9 for the whole rest of the day. Excuse me. Chapter 8. Scary Face Me. After I got home from school, I sat on my bed and I looked at my pictures. I hate these ugly, dumb things, I said, very furious. These are the ugliest dumb pictures I ever saw. I leaned over the edge and holded the pictures down there. See this?